Well, looks like Amazon decided that, the free market business model doesn't apply to them, that monopoly laws don't apply to them, that antitrust laws don't apply to them. They just shut down a multi-billion-dollar company because they can. Simply because they can. Parler, the only one out there that competes with Facebook. I actually downloaded it, and it is the same format as Facebook, just not as intrusive. Here's the lesson. The government don't want to do anything about it to protect people's rights. Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden, your president-elect, is going to let this happen. What's he going to let happen to your money while it's in the bank? The way they shut Parler down, they can shut all your income down. All your assets that are in the bank are digital. They could shut that down the way they just shut down Parler. All your retirement funds are digital. They could shut that down the way they just shut down Parler, because they don't like your opinion. Not because you committed a major crime, just because they don't like the idea of your opinion, because you don't agree with them. Because you have the audacity to believe in the First Amendment and don't agree with a political stance. Like they do in China. Then they lock people in their houses. It's because they don't believe with their political stance. All the Muslims that they're killing and that they're enslaving and that they're forcing to do outrageous things against their beliefs. Yeah. Same thing. This is just the beginning, but this is how it all started in China. Started on the same level. And it's not just one party to blame for this. I realize right now, because the progressives are playing their hands so hard. They've even separated I'm a Democrat. I've always been a Democrat, but I'm not a progressive. I'm a liberal. Most libertarians know the difference. They've taken the time to learn the difference. Because liberals are actually, generally we are libertarian. Progressives are communists, fascists. That's why you have fascists on both sides. Because, when you take the political ideology, you have liberals up here on the top of the horseshoe, and then it comes down around, and down here you have progressives, and over here you have radical conservatives, and they get so close together. And that's why you have on both sides of the radical fringe, you have fascists. Because fascism it's like an electric arc. It manages to jump back and forth between both ideologies because they've gotten so close because of that horseshoe model. Fascism, that one flows very freely. That actually makes it a complete circle. Fascism is what completes that circle, really. But that's where we're going. The Democrat Party is completely split. The minority of us, because we're now the minority, liberals, even in California, you have Democrats getting up there on these shows and telling people, listen, you go up here to Sacramento and, you got this small faction of the Democratic Party over here, and then you got these nut job progressives over here. And he said the nut job progressives are just taking everything over and we can't stop them. And because true liberals, I mean, it's nothing against conservatives. It's really not. I mean, I have more in common with conservatives than I do progressives as a liberal, but I'm not a conservative. There's certain things that conservatives, there's certain parts of, when it comes to the Constitution, there's certain things where the conservatives won't even fully embrace it. I mean, when you talk about the far right conservatives, it's against their religion to accept the freedom of religion. Not all, but many of them. My ex-wife and I couldn't get married in the church. I mean, personally, I'm a deist, but I come from a Catholic family. I'm a Catholic. She was a Protestant. We're not allowed to get married in either the Catholic or Protestant church. You get a truly conservative Protestant or a truly conservative Catholic, and our marriage was an abomination. Because I was Catholic and she was Protestant. So a truly conservative, a full-blown conservative Protestant or a full-blown conservative Catholic, they don't accept the freedom of religion. They'll tolerate it, but when it comes to mingling, they will tolerate it though. They're more tolerant than progressives by far. That I will, that's obvious. They are more tolerant. Whereas me, being a liberal, a constitutionalist, I'll marry a Catholic wants to marry a Muslim, a Jew wants to marry a Protestant. Hey, all the more power to you. Go ahead, be happy, pursue happiness. Two guys or two women want to go into the courthouse and get married. Hey, Constitution, separation of church and state. Go ahead. They want to sue the church to get married. Well, that's a little different. The church has its own rights. You know, even me as a liberal, I recognize that. It's what progressives, though, they want to tear the whole system down. They just want to make sure that, you know, we're not tolerant of each other anymore, that we don't accept each other's individuality anymore. They want us to all be walking down the street in tan pants and blue shirts. It's what, like that. That's what progressives want from us. They want to get rid of all individuality. They're up there right now fighting, you know, and putting on this circus show, acting like they care about Muslim rights. Meanwhile, look what they're letting China get away with. When have you heard Nancy Pelosi speak out against China for all the Muslims that they're enslaving and murdering? When have you heard Nancy Pelosi get up there and speak out against Apple for using Muslim slaves to produce their phones in China? Yes, Apple uses Muslim slaves to produce their phones in China. If you are a progressive and you own an Apple product, you are endorsing slavery. If you're a conservative and you own an Apple product, you're endorsing slavery. Muslim Uyghurs are forced into work camps. They're called re-education camps. And forced to build Apple phones. Now we can argue that Apple isn't the one doing it, but Apple is allowing it. They're sending their phones there to be built. So Apple is saying, yeah, you know, we're not doing it. You know, that's the same argument, you know, people use about the police. You know, with everything going on, I kind of get their viewpoint now, even though I don't agree with it. But not all cops are bad. The majority of cops are good. But when you look at police like you look at Apple and the excuse they're using, yeah, you know, most of us are good cops. You know, we can't control him. What are we going to do? Can't cross the blue line. Apple, yeah, they're Muslim. We know they're using Muslim slavery, but what are we going to do? We can't hurt the investors' bottom line. Well, like I said, that's where we are. That's where we are today. And it's only going to get worse. I mean, Amazon just showed the world. Anything you have electronic, they can take it away from you like that. Your whole stock portfolio, like that. Every penny you have in the bank, like that. Anything you do not have that you can physically hold, like that. They can take it away from you. And it's not just Amazon, it's any... Amazon's the biggest cloud server company in the world, but they're not the only one. Any cloud server company can do it. Because all our assets, everything we have in the bank, that's all maintained digitally. Like that, they can take it away. They can just say, you're broke. Oh, yeah, sure, you had $1 billion yesterday, but prove it. Yeah, that's paper. Anybody could forge paper. Look, go on the computer right now and I can make up that document. How we know that's real? There's no proof that that's real. You're saying you had a bank account, but our server says you don't have a bank account. Prove it. Because it's all on the cloud now. And that's what Amazon just did by shutting down Parler. They showed the world we could take anything we want away from you because we choose to. And it's not just Amazon. Like I said, it's any cloud company, which means all your assets as far as money, stocks and bonds, anything that is digitally tracked, they can just take it away from you. You could pull into the bank parking lot, be a billionaire, walk into the bank, and you're dead ass broke. Prove it. Everything's on the cloud. Your whole identity is on the cloud now. They can wipe you out of existence. I could walk out of a motor vehicle with my new ID, get pulled over 2 minutes later, and I don't exist. I don't belong in this country. There's no record of me belonging in this country because it's all in the cloud. Like that. They could just take it all away from you now. And Amazon just proved they can do it. So what's President-elect Joe Biden going to do about it? Is he going to stand up for our rights? Or is he going to do like Apple and say, yeah, what am I supposed to do about it? People chose to do business with them. See, the thing about Amazon, because of what they're doing with the cloud server, they're technically now a utility. Like an electric utility, a cable utility, a phone utility. So, even when people try to flip this whole anti-regulation and free business and the right to do business as you choose, yes. When you're in even Walmart, you have the right to choose how to run your business. But when you're a utility, the rules are different, because the utility is an allowed monopoly. Because basically utilities are monopolies. And so the utility, it runs on a whole different set of rules to be allowed to operate. Because Amazon is the largest cloud server in the world, they're a utility. They're held to a different level than Walmart. They're held to a different level than Joe's Pizzeria. They're held to a different level than Jane's Taxi. They're held to the level that Time Warner Cable is held to. They're held to the level that Verizon is held to. They're held to the level that Con Ed is held to. They're a utility. They're different. And they just proved they could take everything you own